Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. We are bringing more Khymaera from Steam Forged Games Warmachine lineup to the table, albeit out of order. I already posted the auxiliary expansion cadre, which is more of the fun units to mess around with. But this in front of us today is the Command Cadre, and this is going to be an actual Warcaster, a unit to go along with the Warcaster, as well as some solo models to supplement them. The Command Cadre boxes are made to basically get you started. Everything you need is in the box, not so much the other set that we showed off before, and a War Beast. I forgot there's a heavy War Beast in there. As always, you've got the QR codes there if you want to scan them and take a look yourself. Or you can just take a look at the link since it's going to get you the same stuff. But I'm more interested in what's inside the box than just looking at the cover. Speaking of covers, every time we have one of these boxes, unfortunately, I'm going to continue to gripe about it because I think it is something that absolutely should be taken care of. Yeah, they're all just copies of the actual resin models at this moment, but the fact that this is in color and nothing is on the other side is a bit of a letdown because I would love to just have a blurb about the background lore about the figures in here. That's a big pet peeve of mine. Hopefully in the future we'll see Steam Forged do something with that. I'm going to continue to harp on it though. 'Cause I can. But also I get that it saves them, time, money. It's just, to me, it's like if you're already going to be, cutting down on costs by having a separate card header inside of here, and then just a generic box that everything is going to be able to fit inside of, which personally I think is kind of a good idea. It's a lot less wasteful, easier to collapse, break down. I just want to have those cards because I tend to hoard all that stuff and use it for painting purposes and just for, review if it's not getting used in the game. So let's take a look at what is included in the Command Cadre. Thankfully, I kind of know everything, and I did double check the app, so at least I have a good idea of what I am expecting to see in here. Okay, so these are the Incarnate Knights. This is going to be the unit that is included with the Command Cadre. And I will tell you right off the bat, I was super duper apprehensive about these guys because of those flails. I absolutely was worried that they were going to get smashed to smithereens in the process of getting transported from the mailman to my house. But thankfully, as you can see, the chain is intact there, and I do appreciate the fact that it's actually attached to the body itself, because otherwise there's more opportunity to just get stuck snagging on things. Yes, you are going to need to do some cleanup in quite a few spots. Is it a deal breaker? Not really, at least for me. Be aware anytime you have prints like this, you are going to have to take care of this. Even some of those expensive high-end Kingdom Death ones, it's no different. You do need to clean it, but usually the Kingdom Death stuff, since it's a lot more smaller boutique run, they do tend to have a little less cleanup than these. Again, I do appreciate the fact that we have connection points attaching that chain to the body, and this is something that I feel like a lot of the smaller scale 3D printer artists, not to knock on anybody, or name names in a negative way, but I do feel like a lot of artists tend to ignore that fact that, these do need to work on the tabletop, and lots of delicate bits do tend to break. So if we can have more contact points, I always consider that a welcome thing. Would it be nice if I got to build it myself? Absolutely. Personally, I would have loved to have had them cut off at the torso, but that's just me. Definitely not going to get this glued to a base before painting, just because I want to make sure that I can actually get those underbellies. All right. Oh ho, what's this? Okay, this is intentional. Just to let everybody know. So you can see there is a gap right here on both arms. And yes, he does have his hands right here. There is going to need to be some cleanup in there, though, in order to get those parts to fit. And obviously, I'm going to try to attach it to his back is not the greatest of ideas, but it should go like that. While this isn't necessarily attached directly to the body, we do have a couple contact points for the arms, so that is a good thing. These guys are also going to be sitting on 50mm bases, and being that they are considered cavalry and filling up that entire base, that's always a good thing for me. The bigger the better when it comes to models. At least, in my opinion. I'm one of those people that tends to prefer high point cost, low model count units. That's just me. You won't see me fielding goblins or Skaven in any large capacity. Don't get me wrong, I love painting those guys, but having the numbers to actually make them worthwhile on the table, not going to happen for me, unfortunately. All right, we are finding our War Beast here. And as far as I know, I don't think there's a lot of different rules in the Mark IV stuff comparing War Beasts to Warjacks. Much like in earlier editions of Warmachine, it's still, we have the lesser and heavies. But this is the Drakion. And again, you have that kind of melding fusion of machine and dragon, which I'm absolutely more than happy to oblige with. Okay, part fit isn't bad. Obviously, it does need some cleanup there. He does fit mostly on his 50mm base. That's a good thing. At least his feet are on there, and you do have another contact point. It looks like, yes, his tail is actually going to touch the ground. That's just me. I like having a lot of contact points for my models. I don't like the old style models where they'd have one leg, you know, on the base and then everything kind of overhanging the base. I hated having to pin stuff. That's just my own gripes with earlier editions, especially the metal models. Ugh, did not enjoy that. Again, as a Everblight collector and Legion Aficondo, I had my Nis Hunters that I still to this day, all that pinning work, it was a chore. Can I get this figure out? It's like snagged on, oh, okay, there we go. Alright, you guys noticing like a centaur quadrupedal theme here? Because I absolutely am. Our War Beast may only have 2 legs, but at least he's got 4 arms, right? This is one of our Incarnate Conjurers. So you can see they are throwing fireballs, other hands on fire, rearing up on their hind legs. This guy is also going to be on a 50mm base, and that seems to be everybody in this set so far, in fact. He's got this kind of hooked crescent helmet thing going on there. Gonna have to be a little bit careful with the little bits dangling off the top. Like he's got like the exhaust vents, much like all of the old Everblight stuff did. You are not going to stand on your own, obviously. You are definitely going to need to be glued or blue tacked on there. Compared in size to the actual Incarnates, you'll see they are about the same size, roughly. I was always assuming that the Conjurers were going to be a little bit smaller for some reason. Couldn't tell you why, but I'm glad to be proven wrong. Our final box, something with a 50mm base again. And something else with a 50mm base again. Got some big boys in this box. 50mm base. And who is going to join us now? Why, another Incarnate Conjurer. We get 2 of these. And again, I do believe they have some spell options available to them that you can choose from. So, you know, having some tactical options to play around with is never a bad thing. I do think they come in units of 1 and they are actually solos rather than units, if I remember correctly, which is always debatable. So I don't need anybody to come actually me. And God, I have to hear my students do that all the time. They're like, Mr. High Lord Tamerlane, actually, we don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, I know. Okay. Ew. Hopefully that was supposed to come off. Hopefully that was supposed to come off. That looks like the tip of a tail, so I'm going to guess no. Hopefully that was supposed to come off. Nope. This is our Warcaster, too, unfortunately, who does not seem to want to leave the bag. It's okay, my friend. There you go. Dang, dude. Okay, no, this hand was supposed to be separate. It's got a big old spiky shield. This is Kyrax. And he seems significantly larger than his incarnate buddies, and maybe it's just me saying that. But yes, he is another six-legged quadrupedal dragon mech, for lack of better terms. This guy can get some serious armor on him. Looking at the stats in the app, I am absolutely looking forward to using him. And with those knights of his, they just look like they're going to want to sit around and just, you know, swamp the game. Obviously, we're going to have to fix that. That isn't too big a deal. Your tailpiece. It's going to go like that. Is that the tip of the tail? That's a weird way to end it. It feels like it should have a little bit there, no? I wonder if that was the tip of the tail. I have no idea what that part is. I don't know. Maybe there's something else in the bag and I just didn't get it out. I don't know. It does look like he's going to be quite epic, though, when all is said and done. And I'm always one to enjoy a 50mm Warcaster base model. Me and Borka back in the day on his, what was it? Polar bear. I don't even know what I'm thinking of. I have our captain from Khador, her bear at least, because I've got her already primed. I was trying to paint her while I attempt to finish up my Khador stuff from the new starter set. That's not going anywhere as fast as it should be. But I gotta say, we got some pretty impressively sized models here. Grabbing a Helljack. Not a Helljack anymore. Deathjack, whatever they were called. You can see, while the Warjack for Crix here, that's not having an arm attached to it at the moment, maybe a little bit wider. It's almost the same height as Kyrax there, so that's kind of cool to see. Grabbing my other single finished Khymaera model, Rassic here. We're going to go with a similar paint scheme. I like the bold, bright primary colors. It makes me feel like a Saturday morning cartoon baddie. And I'm all here for that, so that'll be kind of fun. Heck, grabbing an Infinity Tag even. This guy can go toe-to-toe with one of those. That's kind of funny. I'm just like grabbing random models. Sizing them up with some of the new Crix stuff. One of the new Crix Warcasters, which I have yet to see many painted versions of, so I'm just going to show off mine. Really like this model. He may or may not be pulling some double duty in Trench Crusade in the near future, along with his Iron Lich friends here. I'm not 100% sure how I can pigeonhole a bunch of mechanical Dragon Knight magician things into other games, but I am certainly going to give it a try. The fact that everybody is on a larger base, though, to me is really kind of cool. And it's actually going to make things, I'd say, a little bit easier for painting as well, due to the fact that, you know, I don't have to worry about as many tiny details. So that's always a big plus for me. The fact that they are so large is really going to be enjoyable, though. If you guys are curious, you'll know where to find them. Obviously, if I'm picking these up and they're getting mailed to me, I didn't order these ones direct from Steamforged. Just had them through one of the local distributors that I like to pick stuff up from. I know a lot of the online shops have already started carrying them, so they should be in regular distribution at this point, at least throughout the US. I'm assuming just as much in Europe as well. So hopefully we'll continue to see some new and interesting designs, and I can absolutely guarantee at some point or another you should see these painted up on a Monday whenever we post those weekly painting progress videos, and we'll definitely be having more Warmachine figures as finances allow it. So hopefully we'll have our fingers crossed there that we can be grabbing some more, especially with the holidays right around the corner. So with that said then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.